Good evening, everyone. And I'm fiddling with wires is what I'm doing. Don't mind me. I'm fiddling with wires. That's the way this goes. This way I can put this wire right here. All right. We are here doing our things. Wow, that's kind of cool looking there. Let's go. Kind of cool. I got to fix that because it's kind of sitting back there being, who it is, but it's not cool looking. I could put it up on the wall and it would be cool looking. So, all right. Well, we're going to get to cracking here right away. I'm going to actually turn on music because it doesn't matter. Somebody has decided that they are going to select our music anyway. So I might as well put the music in and what difference is it going to make? So, haven't seen the results of any of my disputes yet. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right. And now we earlier set up this to be already rigged for color. So we're pretty happy with what it looks like on the maquettes. So now we can actually add their normal color in. Like now that we're sure that we've got everything lined up properly, and just before we went to break at lunch, I finished putting in the patches so all of the service patches are correct and everything is lined up properly and all the things are where they're supposed to be and yada yada yada. So what we're going to do now is populate. Right? So we now know that we can do each individual one's uniforms now. We can. Luckily, we've already got the color codes that we need for this, so we're just going to do that. I'm going to bring up this here, and that's shielding in the back. And we're just going to duplicate this layer right here. I'm going to say multiply, and then on this bottom layer here, we're going to just fill in all of the colors. Right? They've already been populated, so it doesn't take much effort here to grab all of these colors because they're already underneath, right? So the fingernails are slightly darker. Right? Go under here, grab the service color. One of the things I'm noticing here is that the toes, the service color, the toenails are the service color. I guess they are. Hadn't thought about that, but okay. I'll go ahead and just do these in the service color for right now, just so we know what we can do. So, yeah. There we go. Is that service color or not? No. So the front part's service color, but the hands are fill color. So that's right. So what we'll do now is grab this. Let's do this. Right? That covers everything else. Right. You can see how quickly we populated it and how well it's done. Just stuff like that. Brian Kayan is saying he's not going to make it. Go in here, and that's you, and 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 you. And I don't know why I'm doing all of those. We're just going to have to erase it in a minute anyway, but that's all right. Around, because she only has these two and this guy. This guy is going to be this color. Like that. Yep. There we go. All right. Call it toenails. Blue. Just so we know it's all blue, I guess. I don't know. It's all good. Okay, the only other thing we need to worry about then from here is a couple of things. One, she doesn't have 3 stripes, she has 2.5 stripes. So we're going to have to fix that. So let's go ahead. This is going to be Chang's. So we're going to take the pen tool here. And once we've done this, we're actually going to take this guy here. Yeah. So I'm just going to duplicate him, and I'm going to cut the duplicate off. So we'll do both of these guys at the same time. So we'll just go ahead and now that we've colored everything, we're going to flatten that down. Because this will allow us to go in here with a brush and be able to do this. Right, and just first of all, take one of our stripes. Right, then this guy is going to have to be a half stripe like this. So we're just going to do this. Right, this is the infamous dotted stripe that she gets. Partial rank. And of course, I'll come back in with an 8 and just do this. That way, it's just complete. Don't fix any, little mistakes like that. Okay, I'll go up here and do the other arm. Well, there we go. We're just going through here and we're just putting in. So this is our beloved Captain's colors. I think we can forget this guy right here. Arm straight up. That's how this worked. That worked. Okay. It's going to be pleasant. is we need the bits piece. So I'm going to go in here quick. Textures, hang the bits piece. Bits. Because we need a specific color right here. That guy right there. So we need that here. And you may be wondering, why in the world do we go through all this trouble? And the answer really boils down to, we're going through all this trouble so that if we get to the point where we need this kind of detail, this level of detail here, we have it. It's available to us. So the yellow circles there that indicate the RC thrusters, if I ever need them, they're available to me. All right. Let's see, save as, and we'll go into textures, characters, Shangli, and this becomes the service uniform, right, for her line uniform. And I'm going to go on ahead and double check to make sure we're doing that. Yep. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to replace this, okay, because this is now going to be the new line uniform. Pockets up here. Right. And again, let's see real quick. Line uniform. Limbs, line uniform. Okay. And we'll go over here and under here. We'll browse. Textures, characters, Shangli, and we'll take her line uniform. And there we go. Where'd you save these? That's in the right place. Where are you loading this from? Are we doing the thing? We're doing the thing. It has cached this picture. So, since it's cached the picture, this is the cached version of it. And you can't ever uncache it. The only way to uncache this picture is for us to close Daz Studio and reload it, because you can see that it is the correct image over here. But it is not the correct image on there. And even when you render the character, it's still running the rendered cached uniform. So we're going to have to take it on faith that we're doing it correctly and hope that everything is correct. And so we're going to go over here. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to duplicate the layer, and then we're going to take this layer and multiply it. The reason we duplicate the layer is so that whenever underneath here we tap this and do this and everything fills in, it doesn't automatically make sort of an error on things. It's going to do as best as it can to kind of get everything that it needs. So we're going to take the skin here, 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 right? We're going to take this here, 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 here. A little complicated trying to grab all of the emergency lines and everything that needs to be emergencied, which includes these guys, which really shouldn't be orange, but eh. Her service color, here, and here, right? There are no other spots to have her service color except for the tops of her outfit. We're going to go here again. Is there any piece of that? No. Everything else is gold. So we'll take the Unity gold. Come in here. You doing? You. I see. The real reason we do this in 2 layers. Now I can take this guy here, and I'll just take this and go under here and just do this. When it gets cranky like this, I can just do that and get all of it. Because it's on the under layer. The under layer. This guy, we're going to have the same critter. Because this is going to be like this, and this, and everything. God dang it. Here, right? It's going to be all like, why would you do that? So I can just take underneath here and just do this and kind of get in here and just make sure all of it's cleared and not so strange. Okay, so now we've finished coloring in this uniform. And then we're going to just take this. I'm actually going to take this gray. No, I'm going to take the black. I'm going to just tap right here and here. I'm going to take this and we're going to do the same thing into characters, Chang Li, and this will be her uniform, right? Her service uniform, right? That's the same thing. Yeah, whatever. Correct. Okay. Same thing. We come in here. We're going to take template 1. We're going to browse. And since it already remembers it, it's going to be a little difficult and complicated. So service uniform is this guy. And it's going to do the same thing. It's going to remember the old uniform. So it's not remembering the new uniform. Remembering the old uniform. So we are taking it on. Well, no, actually, we've never apparently had the new service uniform cached. So the torso is correct, but the limbs are not, which is fine. So what we're going to do now that everything is correct and our colors are right, I'm going to zip back here. And we're going to just move over like so. Move to here. We're going to select her. And we're going to say, save as. We're going to take a scene subset shot of her with Matrix leads. Right, so this is her in her service uniform. Chang Li. Would you want to yes? I do not want that to be there. Accept. And it'll replace her over here on my quick load directory. Okay. And then we can delete her and we'll close everything and check in a minute to make sure everything's all right. But first, I'm going to have to do Bennett's side. Now, Bennett is pretty much the same critter as Chang, right? A couple of minor exceptions in the same token here. Bennett's hair can be the same, but Bennett's skin is a different color. So I'm going to open real quickly and go back one and go over to Bennett and pick up the limbs just so we can have her skin color. So here's the skin color for Bennett. This is what needs to be saved. Hang on real quick. Save as. Because I'm not sure it's saved that correctly. That's all right. We'll get there. All right. There we go. Now the good news is that all we need to do from here is take this and go here and I go work, because Bennett's a lighter color in skin. Then Bennett's got a lighter color here. Right. Okay. And then the last thing we need to do is clear the rink. That's you. I think she'd be all happy about the fact that she got herself a little bit of a field promotion here. However, in reality, I don't think Bennett's going to be quite as good at being in any kind of upward command. So we're better this way. We're a lot better this way. Right? And it's not that difficult to deal with. So we'll save as come up one character, over character. This is your service uniform. Oops. We save it. Oh, we can't because thanks. We just need one warning, really honestly. There you go. And we'll do this again for the next one, but the next one's going to be a little different. So we're going to do the same thing here real quick. Snag that color. I'm going to go here and go work, right? So you got a lighter color there. Bennett doesn't have all the devices because she's not in command and she's not a commander. So she doesn't get all the command devices that are on the uniform. So we get to wipe that out. Go. Okay, try this again. Let's duplicate this layer. Turn it off. Merge that. And now we can delete this. And we'll take off the scrambled eggs. Okay, Bennett doesn't get either one of those because that's not a thing that Bennett needs. That's all good. But all the other pieces of her uniform are fine. So, save as, come up one, over one, and we'll say this is the service uniform. Right? Now her service uniform is corrected for Bennett. And we're going to do one more for Lieutenant Mayrell. Open, pop up, go over to Mayrell. We're going to open up her list here. We're going to check, right, this piece here. First of all, Mayrell's skin is darker by far, so work. This is a high enough resolution that I feel like we're not having quite the errors that you would have normally by using a fill on this. Mariel also has this color code difference because she services. And she's actually mission specialist. That's what this color is. This color is mission specialist. So that's a different. This light green is for those that are of the mission specialist grade. So and check her rank on the dotted line. Just don't want to look at from here, so we'll close that. So all she's got is a single dotted line down here. Which makes her a newly minted lieutenant. She's very, very newly minted in the lieutenant grade because ensign is. All right. And back out from here. Go to Mara Legend. I'm going to grab the limbs. All right. We'll go over here and do the same thing. Nothing really changed for her except for her service color and her skin color. There we go. Now Mayrell's done too. And close that. And close that. And close that. Okay. Then it fix up her setup. It is. Your torso service uniform. There you go. It's going to, again, it's loading the cached version. So we'll save it as a scene subset. Angie Bennett service. Yeah. Accept. Yep. Now we'll do the last one, which is Mayrell, which oddly is exactly why we've been doing this whole thing. Because Mayrell's the one that's all messed up in the scenes that we're trying to pre-pose. Why we're here. However, you can already see around her, she's got all of it didn't cache this outfit. So the outfit's already got all the pieces to it, you can see. So it already preloaded it. So all we've got to do is go through here and do the Morph Loader Pro. We need to select something and then do Morph Loader Pro. Choose the morph file, the Unity uniform. Accept it. And poof. Now she has pockets, RC thrusters. Everything lines up correctly. Although I am now noticing that her patch doesn't line up correctly anymore. We may have to go back and fix that. But I'm not going to fight with it tonight. Because I'm pretty happy with what we've got. And what's probably going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to head to Ren Fair. So I'm probably going to go to bed pretty soon here. I just wanted to make sure that all of my leads were complete and rebuilt. Correctly rebuilt. Actually, also noticing here, the hip is doing that thing, which it doesn't do on Chang, but it does do on the other two girls because they've got more hips. Chang has almost no hips because Chang is Chang and that's who she is. But these guys have more hips. So I have to probably repair that piece, or I might just not care. At this point in time, it's taken an awful lot of effort to get it right. And I'm going to spend more time with Chang than anybody else. So Chang being correct and the other two kind of being a little wonky is not going to kill me. So I'm okay with it. Now I'm going to take her and we're going to say save as. We're going to say scene subset. We go over here to Mayrell service. So she already exists. Yes. Save it. Accept. And that service picture is now different. Now all three of my main leads are correct. They have been corrected for the benefit of this. So that's where we are. That took a lot of effort. The next thing I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start setting up Mayrell's specific poses so that it's hard to navigate characters inside a set. So we're going to do some setup real quick here so that I don't have to work hard when we get to that setting. Some generic things that you know you're always going to see, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get furniture, and the first thing we're going to get is a flight couch, right? Well, no, we're going to have to unload and load. So open recent, we'll go to the pilot house. Do I change the view now? Let's get this. Come up with this whole thing because we need to park we need the overhead rack that we call the pilot control pillar. That's this guy. So I'm going to save it as a scene subset. We're going to put it over on furniture. We'll call it. Right, we're going to say pilot control pillar. And we got to go through this whole thing. Right? No, 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 yes, no, yes, you, but not you. I guess I don't have a choice in the matter, so I guess I'm going to be selecting you, whether I like it or not. Because it's a subset, which is all right. Okay, so I'll say new. Don't save the changes. We don't really care. I'll put the pilot control pillar out here. Doesn't really matter where it is. All right. Rotate it. It's not going to matter really where everything goes on this one because what's going to happen out here is we're going to have Mayrell. I'll stick her in the scene. We're going to set up all the things that maybe Mayrell's doing as a natural sort of ongoing thing that she would do around the pilot couch so that I don't have to do these later. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some of the poses we've got for these that can be easily used. So kind of going through like something like this, maybe not, that's a little dramatic. I just need something to start with. We can do other things later. So kind of looking like here's where we are with this kind of critter here. Can we use this? Maybe. Maybe. This might be a getting into the, I don't feel like that's helping me any at all. Okay. So looking at just some of these guys here, these are, I mean, all this is doing is just getting my frame sort of started on things. Really, I'm, like this guy. All right, she's coming up to here and bend her down a little. So. Because I feel like, as a pilot, she might have a... Oh, somebody got really twisted up here, didn't they? Look at that work. Right. As a pilot, she might have like a pre-start sort of thing she does. She's walking up to here. She just reaches over and starts pushing buttons on the control panel. Yeah? This I may not be in the right state of mind for today. I feel like I'm feeling a little weird and strange, and not weird and strange. That's a strange thing to say. Because it implies like something's wrong with me. Nothing's really wrong with me. I'm just not in a focused mood. I'm not focused at all. So, kind of thinking maybe something requires a little bit more focus than I have tonight. Right, because here she's kind of doing this. And I don't know. I feel kind of like maybe I'm not doing this justice. Although that does look kind of decent. I feel like also she's got her butt sticking out. Maybe her back's not arched correctly, and this doesn't look like a human would do something. So I think what I really want to do is go look up reference photos and then pose her in the correct pose for the reference photo. And then that way I don't have to worry about it anymore. We always use reference for art. Art always uses reference in one way or another. And this is no different. I'm going to use the reference photos to set my maquettes so that I don't have to worry about them later. But I want to build a little library of standard things that somebody does around the ship. Probably what I will do is go look up Star Trek and look at how they're standing around. You know, when they're standing around, some of them have little pads, and they're holding the pad, and they're writing in the pads or whatever. Okay, so I'll need this pose. Gotcha. You know, some of them have the communicator open, or maybe they're just working on the widget on the side, or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to come up with just sort of static poses. This will help me later on whenever I'm building this to have just static operating poses. These are people doing things. They're working on consoles, or they're pushing buttons, or they're fixing a thing, or they're twisting a knob, or whatever people do on ships. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to look around and see what people are doing in the background. What's their busy work? So, but in the meantime, I'm just spacing out, and I'm not doing so well on the keeping focused and thing. And tomorrow I'm getting up early to go to Ren Fair, and so I probably ought to go do something about that. So I'm going to go do that, and we'll get back to this at some point here. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Brian will be back at some point. Brian will be back at some point, so that'll be cool. But yeah, till then, I'll see you guys around. Okay, good night.
Signing off.
I'm signing off.